Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the WWE Raw Post Show here on the Ringside Report Network. It is Monday, September 20th. Roman Reigns invades Raw and wins twice. Some new matches for WWE Extreme Rules, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss go hard in their promo. Let's do it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome to the show. I'm Dave, and Angelo already here. What's up, Angelo? Asking where my brother is. He's not here. He's not here tonight. I'm not sure where he is. He's out with his buddy. His buddy who lives in Germany is in town for like a few days, so he's seeing him tonight, so he couldn't make the show. He missed a good episode of Raw, though, I'll tell you that much. Pretty excellent episode of Raw. My brother will be back with me next week. We are here every Monday night to recap Monday Night Raw. I guess I've been off for a couple of weeks here on the Raw Post Show because of vacation and stuff, right? But I am back. We are back. Raw was pretty good tonight. I liked Raw tonight. Solid stuff. Some things, I think, a bit of a misstep from the WWE. Some things were just, they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves with Roman Reigns. They can't help themselves. They need to have him win matches consistently, always on their TV. He has to win. They have to keep Roman strong, as if they haven't kept Roman strong enough. I don't understand why Roman Reigns won the matches that he won tonight. The first match was the opening match. Roman, Big E, open and close the show tonight. Big E just won the WWE Championship for the first time in his career last week on Raw. Last week on Raw. He was on Smackdown on Friday night. This is his first episode of Raw as WWE Champion, after jumping over from SmackDown, cashing in the Money in the Bank unexpectedly last Monday night on Bobby Lashley. Taking the title from the former champion, Bobby. This is Big E's first night. He was in 2 matches, and he lost them both. Why? Because Roman had to win. And it's you have to laugh at this point. You have to just laugh at the WWE and how they operate. They just can't help themselves with this guy. They are in love with Roman Reigns. And it is hilarious to me. Oh, Brian Firth dropping a super chat. Thank you, Brian. Doug Hepburn wants a long run. What's up, Doug? What's up, Angelo? What's up, Bob? What's up, Brian? Doug wants a long run for Big E. I do too. I do too. And I would like them to build him up strong as the champion here on Raw. Brian First says, I had a bad day. I got dumped. Maybe you can cheer me up like you do. Oh, man. Sorry, Brian. Her loss. Or his loss. I don't know what your orientation is, but I'm assuming it's a lady. Her loss, my friend. Plenty of fish in the sea, as they say, right? There you go. That's what Franco's saying. Thank you, Franco. Franco316. Shout out to Franco. He's a member of the team. Don't forget to become a member of the team. Join. I'm scratching my eye. I feel like I got sand in my eye. I lifted my son up to reach a slide that he can't normally reach at the playground this evening. He had some sand in his shoe. Came home, I had sand on my face. I feel like I got sand in my eye now. What's going on? Oh yeah, dad life. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. Where was I? Sorry, Brian. Brian threw me off. Sad for Brian. What's up, Lauren? Lauren is here. Like to see the regulars in the chat here. Nice to see you guys. joining me tonight as I'm riding solo. No Johnny. No Unky B. Nobody. No AJ. No Freddie. Just Dave. Just Dave. Anyways. I just don't understand why the WWE has to do this with Roman Reigns consistently when he doesn't need the wins at this point. Sometimes you could have him lose, especially in non-title situations that mean absolutely nothing, like the situations he found himself in tonight. I don't understand why they had to have Roman get 2 pinfall victories. I get that they're pushing him hard and strong, and they're just over the top with Roman Reigns, and he wins everything, but it's ridiculous at this point. They look dumb doing it. And they also don't help anybody else in the process. Like Big E winning tonight in the triple threat, the main event was Big E, Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns. Had Big E won that match, it would look good for Big E. Had Bobby won that match, it would make Bobby look good in what will probably be a rematch at Extreme Rules on Sunday against Big E. Although that's not official, and I guess this was the last show before Extreme Rules, so who knows? Maybe Bobby and Big E set up some sort of WWE title match on SmackDown. Bobby was attacking Big E with a chair a lot in that match, and I figure maybe chairs match at Extreme Rules? Remember when they used to do that at Extreme Rules? They'd have like a tables match, a ladder match, a chairs match. They're not doing that this year. They don't have like different gimmick matches. I don't think they have a single gimmick match on this card on Sunday night. Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor is an Extreme Rules match, okay, for the Universal title. And Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus triple threat, but I mean, it's not really a gimmick match. I guess it is, but not with chairs or ladders, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Franco's saying maybe that's for TLC. Yeah, he might be right. They have like a chairs match and a ladder match at TLC. Yeah, I think I'm confusing the pay-per-views. They have so many of these things with all these different gimmicks. I think Franco's right about that. And Bob Cote is saying, you know, fans booed Cena because he never lost, are doing the same with Roman, trying to get him heat by winning all the time. And I get that, and he does get heat because he wins a lot. He gets heat no matter what. Like, I get getting Roman heat, but there's got to be some helping of the other guys as well. Like, Roman didn't need to take the pinfall tonight. Have Bobby pin Big E tonight and say, oh, well, maybe on Sunday Bobby will do it again. It didn't have to be Big E getting the win, but it would have been nice had Big E got the win and given him a real shot in the arm as far as going forward as WWE Champion. Big E pins Roman tonight in the triple threat, and you're like, oh, man, they're really doing something with Big E. Maybe Big E is going to have a nice long run and be very successful and do all sorts of cool stuff. They're setting him up pretty good. You could give Roman the win back down the road, like they're going to wrestle probably at Survivor Series, right? Big E was saying that. Maybe Big E will beat him then. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Because it is the WWE. And they just cannot help themselves with Roman Reigns. Big E cuts an in-ring promo with Kofi and Xavier Woods. Fans chanting, "You deserve it," to Big E. He thanks the fans. He thanks one special friend from above. Of course, he's talking about his good friend, Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper. The fans start chanting Brody. They knew what he was talking about. Big E very close with Brody Lee. The loss of Brody Lee hit the whole wrestling business very hard, but Big E especially very close with the family, very close with Brody. And the promo was mostly Big E. Kofi and Woods just kind of stood there and hyped him up. They didn't have microphones. They didn't talk. And then they talk about beating the Bloodline, and here comes the Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns and the Usos. And, it's a good match. It was fun to watch, solid stuff, but the finish was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Bobby Lashley shows up, attacks Big E outside the ring. The referee sees everything. He's watching this the whole time. Attacks Big E, referee doesn't do anything. Attacks Kofi, referee does nothing. Bobby continues his attack, beats up one Uso, beats up the other. Just distracting everybody, I guess, for Roman Reigns to win. Hit the spear on Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3, Roman wins. The Bloodline gets the win over the Usos by pinfall after the spear from Roman on Woods. 1, 2, 3. Spear, 1, 2, 3, right? Like, I get you want to have Roman win, and he could win that match. That's fine. That makes sense, I guess. But when Bobby comes out and starts attacking people, shouldn't that be a disqualification? When Bobby puts his hand on Big E, who is in this six-man tag, Bobby, who is not in the six-man tag match, he shows up, starts attacking Big E and Kofi. The referee doesn't call for the bell. Later on in the show, Randy Orton and AJ Styles had a match. Omos tripped Randy Orton and got ejected from ringside. No disqualification. There was no disqualification there for some reason. Just Omos got ejected from ringside. At least there was some sort of repercussion. When Bobby Lashley attacks Big E ringside and he attacks Kofi and the Usos, there's no repercussions for that in the match. No disqualifications. Nothing happens. Just like Bobby beats up some guys that are in the match for some time, and then Roman hits a spear, and then the match is over because Roman hit the spear and got the pin. Like, you have these good matches, and then you kind of ruin them with these weird finishes that make absolutely no sense. No sense. Brian Firth wants to know, what was my match of the night? His was main event stars match with Garza and Ali, but too short. He also wants to know if there's any update on new merch and the Glenn WO hat. I don't know. I got to talk to Glenn. I guess he sent it, or maybe he didn't, Brian. If he didn't, I'm going to send you something. I don't know. Glenn, who knows? New merch, we're working on it still, and match of the night. I liked Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. I thought that was probably my match of the night. Orton and AJ did a really good job. I thought their match was good, but the Jeff Hardy and Sheamus match had something on the line. If Jeff Hardy won, he got to be in the triple threat. Well, he got to make it a triple threat. It was Damian Priest versus Sheamus for the U.S. title at Extreme Rules. But because Jeff Hardy beat Sheamus, now he is in the match, and it's a triple threat. So Jeff Hardy kind of earned a title shot, so it was something on the line there. Brian Firth dropping a super chat. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for the kind words. He says, your channel means the world to me. Well, thank you, Brian. Your support means the world to me. Appreciate it. We appreciate you, Brian, and we're happy to get you through the hard times and to keep you going in the good times as well. And the good times are just around the corner. We have the hard times so that we could be grateful of the good times so we know what they're like. If it was all good times, would it be that good? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. All good times sounds pretty good, though, right? No bad times ever? But that's life, man. Good times and bad. Big E's champion. Roman wins all the matches. Good with the bad, baby. So the Bloodline beats the New Day in the opening match. And then Bobby has beat up a bunch of guys. Bobby wants a rematch with Big E. He wants his WWE title back because he feels he was robbed when Big E cashed in the Money in the Bank last week after Bobby had wrestled Randy Orton. But Big E told Bobby at the beginning of the show he planned on cashing in on whoever won that match. So Bobby kind of saw it coming. It wasn't that bad. But, Bobby does have a point as far as he was WWE champion, got cashed in on. A one-on-one match, a rematch, does make sense. That's why I feel like they should do it at Extreme Rules. Bobby had to wrestle Randy, and then he hurt his leg attacking Riddle and Randy after the match last week, and then Big E cashed in and beat Bobby that way. It would make sense, especially for Big E, to defend the WWE title against Bobby Lashley in a straight-up match and then beat him to make him look strong as a champion going forward, if indeed the WWE plans to make Big E look strong. You would think that they would book Big E versus Bobby in the rematch and have Big E go over. You would think that they would do that. They have not done that yet for Extreme Rules. But it's a 6-match card so far, and usually they do 7 or 8. So I'm assuming they're going to do Bobby Big E at Extreme Rules, but I don't know yet. And if they do it, I figure Big E would win. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. Cheers, Brian. And cheers to you, Doug. Thank you for supporting the network. Got to send you this Orange Cassidy action figure I have for you, brother.
Super chat. Super chat.
We got a lot of... there he is. There's Doug. Got a lot of action figures. Picked up a bunch today. I can show you a little bit later on, guys. So the main event here. So Bobby Lashley, he's mad. He wants a rematch with Big E. And then Big E shows up with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, who are like the authority figures, right? And he wants a match with Bobby and Roman Reigns tonight. And then Paul Heyman shows up, and he's like, Roman probably doesn't want to wrestle, you know, because that's Roman's deal. He doesn't like to wrestle so much. And then Sonya Deville tells him that it's going to be Roman versus Bobby versus Big E tonight in the main event, which is pretty cool. The fact that they did that, you know, Roman showing up, the head of the table, you know, the tribal chief showing up on Raw, the SmackDown champion showing up on Raw, the guy who usually just cuts promos on SmackDown. He very, very rarely wrestles on that show. The fact that he came to Raw and wrestled twice is kind of a big deal. It's pretty rare to see Roman Reigns on Raw. Like, we haven't seen him on Raw in months and months and months since he was on the brand. And to see him wrestle as well. I don't know if he's ever wrestled twice on SmackDown. Certainly not in his current run. Wrestling twice on Raw tonight was a pretty big deal for Roman. So that was pretty cool. WWE definitely felt like they were trying everything. They were going all out. They were really making an attempt to put on an A+ show. And I think they had a pretty good show. I think it was like a solid A-. I wouldn't say it was an A+ show. I think you needed a little bit, you know, maybe a couple more surprises, you know, or a surprise. Nothing was that surprising on this show. Just some solid wrestling with some decent storytelling. But some of the finishes, you know, like Bobby Lashley showing up, attacking a bunch of guys ringside during the match, that should cause a disqualification. Doesn't make sense in the normal WWE universe, right? So we had some hits and some misses. Like the match itself, Bloodline New Day, was quite good. We had some good matches. The main event was quite good. I think you could put the main event as possibly match of the night. I like Jeff Hardy Sheamus a little bit more, but I really did like the main event. I thought it was very good. Roman Reigns getting the win there, of course, over Big E and Bobby after the spear on Bobby. Lashley spinebustered Big E through the announce table. It was pretty nasty. E hit the big ending on Roman after doing his spear off the apron. You know, when Roman's standing on the apron or anybody stands on the apron, Big E dives through the ropes, does that spear to the floor. Did that on Roman, brought him back in the ring, hit the big ending. 1, 2, Bobby Lashley hits Big E with a chair, and then just commences to lay a beatdown on Big E with several chair shots over and over again before Roman hit Bobby with the spear as Bobby was distracted with rage. And he got hit with a spear. 1, 2, 3, Roman wins. Of course, Roman wins. Right? That's just how WWE works. Roman always wins. And that's how it worked tonight. But the match was very good. And I feel like Roman didn't need to win this one. After winning earlier in the night, I think the match earlier should have ended in a disqualification. I'm not really sure why it didn't. And here, in the main event, I feel like it would have been good to have Big E maybe win. But, you know, Roman, I guess you got to protect Roman at all costs. But I feel like Big E should have won that match somehow. Or Bobby Lashley. I feel like it's Raw. You got to promote the Raw story. Because what did you really do there? You just promoted Roman Reigns, who's on SmackDown. You promoted his match with Finn Balor. The WWE Champion, the WWE Championship storyline is kind of the background when Roman Reigns is just all head of the table and he stands tall at the end of the show. Roman Reigns is a visitor on the show, and he winds up taking over the whole show. What does that tell you? Well, Raw is like not that important, and it's really all about Roman Reigns, which we know because we've watched the WWE for the past 5 years. We know it's all about Roman Reigns, but goddamn, does it always have to be all about Roman Reigns? It's a little much. It's like, really? This guy again? He's going to win this too? Why? Did he need to win this? Couldn't Big E have just pinned Roman? And you're like, oh shit, Big E won the title last week. He just pinned Roman on Raw. They're going to do some shit with Big E. Like, it would have been cool. Hits the spear, hits a big ending. You know? Something. Or doesn't pin Roman. Pins Bobby. Whatever. Make Big E look a little stronger than you did. He didn't get pinned tonight, but he didn't win anything. And he just won the WWE title last week out of nowhere pretty much. It's not like he was a top star before being built on a main event level. The guy was not wrestling main events. He's not looked at as a main eventer. How do you make him look like a main eventer? Well, you have him beat your top fucking guy on Raw in the main event. Then he'll look like a main eventer. Then Big E looks impressive. Big E doesn't look any more impressive tonight than he did last week. His stock is not higher. It's at the same level, if not lower, this week than it was last week, based on what they've done with him since winning the WWE Championship. It's been 7 days, but you can do a lot over 2 TV shows with a guy. They've done jack shit with him. I'm not saying his title run is over and it's fucked, but they could have done way more tonight. And they didn't. This is not what you want to do on Monday Night Raw. You don't want to have the guy, Roman Reigns, come in, the guy from the other show, come in and just run roughshod over the whole thing. And you also don't help Big E in any kind of way by doing this. You need to make Big E look like a main event player because he's not, right? No one believes in Big E. Like, okay, he'll beat Bobby Lashley, but like, are you believing in Big E as a main event guy beating Bobby Lashley? Is that even a main event? Is that a match that people are like, cannot wait? Cannot wait. If Big E were to wrestle Brock Lesnar, do you give him a shot in hell at winning against Brock Lesnar? Do you think the WWE would book him to beat Brock Lesnar? I don't. I mean, they should, but I don't see them doing it. I don't think that they would have him beat Goldberg. And they have a lot of guys beat Goldberg, right? Who just beat Goldberg? Didn't Goldberg come out and wrestle a match against somebody? What was that match? It was so goddamn forgettable, I can't even remember. Drew McIntyre, didn't he beat Goldberg at some point? Braun Strowman beat Goldberg. Who did Goldberg wrestle? Was it Roman? I honestly cannot remember. Who was the... No, it was Bobby, right? Yeah, Bobby beat Goldberg. I try to ignore Goldberg as much as possible. It was Bobby. And Bobby beat Goldberg. But would Big E beat Goldberg? If Goldberg comes back and he wants the WWE title shot, do you think the WWE is going to have Big E wrestle Goldberg and beat Goldberg? I don't. But they should. Like, they wouldn't have Big E beat these guys like a Brock or a Goldberg. Based on what we saw tonight, he didn't beat Roman. He didn't beat anybody tonight. He won a ladder match to win a briefcase, and then he beat a guy that just wrestled Randy Orton and then beat up two men but injured his knee in the process. That's how he became WWE champion. And that guy's Bobby Lashley, who himself has not been booked super strong in the WWE. Up until, like, recently, when he beat Goldberg, I guess, right, at SummerSlam. That was, like, his biggest win, and it was like, okay, Goldberg. So I don't see Big E elevated tonight. I see him as still the same guy he was before winning the WWE Championship. Kind of a mid-level guy. Except he's WWE Champion now. It's not how you build a new champion. On his first night on Raw as the Raw Champion. But that's what they did tonight. See, like, they do good things. You could tell that they're trying, but they still manage to fuck it up. Big E needed to be elevated higher up tonight, and he just wasn't. It was very disappointing. And Roman is just, you can't help but laugh at this point at how many times he wins. My match of the night was the Jeff Hardy-Sheamus match. This was tough tonight, though, because everybody just delivered. The matches were all very good. Very good matches, top to bottom. I mean, except for a couple. Like the Doudrop Eva Marie match was not anything special, right? But the Bloodline New Day match was very good, except for the finish. Doudrop beating Eva Marie was, Randy Orton, AJ Styles was very good. Umberto Carrillo and Angel Garza against Mansoor and Mustafa Ali was good too. And Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus was good. And then Roman Reigns, Big E, Bobby was also good. So we had some really good wrestling matches tonight. Raw was good tonight. I just wish they would have done a little bit more to help Big E look respectable as a champion. Gave him a microphone for the promo. I guess it'll be one step at a time. We'll see what they do with him next week. Jeff Hardy beats Sheamus tonight. Finish of that match was fantastic. Jeff goes up for the Swanton, and Sheamus gets his knees up. Jeff just impaled his back there on Sheamus's knees. Nasty stuff. Nasty bump that Jeff Hardy took. And then it looked like Sheamus was going to take control, flips him over for like a back body drop. Jeff rolls through, rolls Sheamus up 1, 2, 3. Right out of getting his finish countered into a devastating knees to the back, Jeff manages to roll Sheamus up unexpectedly out of nowhere for the win, and then he earns a spot in the U.S. title match at Extreme Rules. I thought that match was fantastic. I like the way they finished it. It was an unconventional finish that you wouldn't expect. You add something to Extreme Rules, like Damian Priest versus Sheamus would have been cool, but now Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy, much cooler. Much cooler. That triple threat is way better. So there was something on the line there. The match delivered and then some. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus are two of the best wrestlers in the WWE. They are both future Hall of Famers. So to see them go at it with something on the line on Monday Night Raw, you can't really ask for much better than that. So that was my match of the night. Two guys that I have tremendous respect for. Great wrestlers. Sheamus and Damian Priest had a pretty good brawl after the match, too. Damian Priest was on commentary, and Sheamus got in his face afterwards after losing. And they brawled around. It looked pretty good. Nice and violent stuff. Kept it tight. Sheamus is always just, right in there. He's right in there with his strikes and the violence. Like, he brings it every time. Sheamus is a top-level professional wrestler. You cannot argue with Sheamus. He's huge. He looks the part. He's always bleeding. He's got that pale white skin, so you see all the bruises and the red marks from the match. He just looks fantastic. He is one of the best guys on Monday Night Raw each and every week. Sheamus delivers. And I'm here every week talking about Raw, and I feel like pretty much every week, Sheamus is in my match of the night because he's just so consistent. He's so good. And right now, this Sheamus run, over the past couple of years, he's been one of the best guys in all of the WWE. He really is. I'm a big fan of Sheamus. And a big fan of Jeff Hardy. How could you not be? The charismatic enigma. Whisper in the wind. Jeff Hardy. Brother Nero. Right? Gotta love Brother Nero. I knew he'd come. What else happened on Raw tonight? The Randy Orton AJ Styles match, like I said, very good. Omos tripped Randy Orton, got ejected from ringside. I'm not really sure why they did this match. I guess Omos and AJ Styles are back feuding with Randy Orton and Riddle for the tag team titles on Raw. Is that the story that they were trying to tell there? I wasn't really sure. Because it seemed like they took the titles from Omos and AJ, and then they were moving on, and Randy was feuding with Bobby, and there were things happening there. And then, Randy loses to Bobby last week, and now they're back to feuding with AJ and Omos. Randy beats AJ Styles tonight. Nothing really on the line. I don't know what the match was for. Except, two top-level pro wrestlers, two future Hall of Famers again, having a really great pro wrestling match, which it was. It was very good. Randy teasing the RKO a lot in the match, finally hits it. It was very good. AJ Styles is one of the best, has been for the past, 20 years now, right? He's been one of the best wrestlers in the world. The phenomenal one. You can't help but love AJ Styles. The guy he's so good. And Randy Orton, of course, I'm not Randy's biggest fan by any stretch, but you can't help but appreciate what he does. He had a good, solid match. He told a story. He's got good facial expressions. He's gigantic. And that's something that doesn't always translate on TV, how truly huge Randy Orton is. The fact that he's able to move so well for his size is really a testament to what kind of athlete Randy Orton is. The guy is a really good athlete. Very impressive that he can move as smoothly as he does, being as huge as he is. The guy's an absolute monster. And he's been doing it for a really long time. So the wear and tear on his body must be pretty rough at this point. Although he's not Mick Foley. You know what I mean? He's not a guy that's taken a lot of risks in the ring. Not a lot of tremendous bumps. And that's why I feel like I'm not a big fan of Randy Orton's, because I think for a lot of his career he's been pretty lazy. I feel like the matches a lot of the times were totally uninspired, and I don't know if he always gave it 100%. A lot of times you're watching Randy Orton and you feel like, does this guy care? Or is he just there? It seems different nowadays because I think he's coming towards the end of his career and he realizes like he may not have that much more time left. And maybe he's enjoying wrestling more. I think he's got his head on his shoulders a little bit better now these days from what you understand about Randy. But, I've seen matches where Randy, ladder matches, Money in the Bank matches. During the match, Randy is just kind of sitting there ringside, drinking water, not doing anything. He's literally drinking water during a match. I've never seen any other professional wrestler just sit around during a match, drink water. The camera's not on him. The camera wouldn't go on him. He's just kind of sitting there, waiting for his spot. But it's like, dude, you make it look so fake when you do that. because you know another wrestler is not going to come and attack you because you're in break. It's not your spot to come in and get back involved with the match. So you're not selling. You're not doing anything. You're just kind of taking a break, drinking water, waiting for your turn. Waiting for your turn. It's a live pay-per-view. And I'm in the arena seeing this, right? And people on TV aren't seeing it. But when you're in the arena seeing it, it's like, God damn, this guy's lazy. And, that's just one example of Randy being super lazy and why I'm not his biggest fan. Because I've never seen anybody else do that, and I've watched a shit ton of professional wrestling. I cannot count how many pro wrestling shows that I've been to, and I've never, ever seen a guy wait for his spot and just kind of drink water on the side during the match, totally exposing how fake everything really is. So that was really disappointing, Randy. But he had a good match with AJ Styles tonight, so all is forgiven. Dewdrop beats Eva Marie. Very exciting stuff. Did I miss a super chat? Oh, I did. Angelo dropped a super chat. Thank you, Angelo. He says, what do you make of AEW's association with Owen Hart's family to celebrate his legacy? I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. And Angelo now is a super chat leader. He's done it again. Thank you, Angelo. I think it's just great. AEW is going to do an Owen Hart tournament. They're going to produce some Owen Hart merchandise. They're going to make an Owen Hart action figure. He's going to be a character that you can play as in their new video game. So I think it's great. And they're doing it with the approval of Owen's family, his widow, and his children. And I think that's very good. That Owen Hart's name and legacy will be celebrated somewhere in professional wrestling. And I think, the family of Owen is more willing to do it with a wrestling company not named WWE. And AEW probably came to them with a solid offer and something that made sense. And they went with it. And I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. I am a huge, huge fan of Owen Hart's. Love Owen. And I'm very happy that we get to see Owen's memory kind of passed on to the next generation. That the Owen Hart name will live on in professional wrestling. That we will see things named after Owen. They're going to do the Owen Cup, in AEW. I think it's good that you're keeping the memory alive so that wrestlers can go back and see the brilliance that was Owen Hart. The guy was just a magician in the ring, a great talker. He had it all, and from all accounts was just an all-around great guy. So I'm happy that Owen Hart gets to be remembered, and I'm happy that I get to get a new Owen Hart action figure too, right? This is my current Owen Hart action figure that I have from way back. Look at this. Look at this bad boy. It's the King of Hearts right there. This is I think this is I don't know what this is called. I don't know what the brand is. You've seen these WWE action figures. This is my old Owen Hart action figure. Haven't made one since way back, right? Because WWE can't make any Owen Hart stuff. But now there's going to be all sorts of new Owen Hart stuff to buy. And we will buy it. We will definitely buy it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what AEW does to remember Owen Hart. And also looking forward to buying some Owen Hart stuff. Shayna Basler beats Nia Jax tonight. That was an interesting match. Not much of a match, pretty short. Shayna put on her rear naked choke on Nia and then made Nia tap. Shayna then beat up Nia pretty badly after the match, stomped on Nia's arm on the stairs, and Nia was begging and crying and asking Shayna not to break her arm and stomp on her arm there. But Shayna did it anyways, and then Nia was screaming and crying in agony afterwards. The Shayna-Nia tag team is officially broken up. And that was interesting. You know, Shayna is being treated more seriously. Seems like she's breaking off on her own. And you wondered when that tag team did break up, who was going to go up and who was going to go down. And right now it seems like Shayna's the one going up and Nia might be going down. I don't know what's going on with Nia. Are they going to work an injury angle? Is she legit hurt? What's going on? Because after that, you kind of have to write her off for a couple of weeks at least. But I like that character transition for Shayna tonight. I thought that was really good, and it sets her up as a legit, scary opponent for anybody on Raw, especially like a Charlotte Flair if she remains champion. I think Shayna and Charlotte would do some good stuff. Shayna and Alexa, I'm less interested in. We've already seen that. We visited that. It was not good. They might do it with less magic this time, but, you know, I don't think Alexa Bliss beats Charlotte Flair at the pay-per-view. I think Charlotte Flair will retain the Raw Women's title, and then we'll probably go with Charlotte versus Shayna afterwards, which will be good. I like that Shayna's being pushed as a single star and possibly pushed as a main event level single star on Raw. So I thought that was really good. I was really happy to see Shayna get that kind of push. And Nia really selling for Shayna there, making her look really dangerous and really scary. You can't discount what Nia Jax did for Shayna tonight, her ex-tag team partner. Nia Jax really sold the fear of Shayna, begging her, please, Shayna, no. Like, that was good. That was good stuff from Nia Jax. I always want to point out the good things that Nia Jax does because she takes so much heat from everybody in pro wrestling, apparently. Everybody that talks about pro wrestling always just wants to shit all over Nia Jax, but I thought she did a really good job tonight. So, good for Nia Jax, and really good for Shayna. I'm a big Shayna fan. She's super legit. She's a pioneer of women's MMA, and I love seeing her have success in pro wrestling. So, more success for Shayna. I'm all about it. So, a lot of good things tonight. Doudrop beat Eva Marie after a crossbody. That was kind of short. Nothing special there. Not one of the highlights of Raw. Eva Marie cut a pre-match promo on Doudrop saying, look at me and look at her. I'm put together and Doudrop is a mess. Really not sugarcoating anything, saying, look at me, I'm Eva Marie, and look at Doudrop. But then Eva Marie lost, so it told a good story. Eva Marie saying terrible things about Doudrop, and Doudrop beats her. So, short match, too. Eva Marie looked like total jabroni in it. Kind of weird. I wonder what they do with Eva Marie past this, because she hasn't looked like anything. She's looked very weak. Very weak.
Super chat.
I wonder when, like, what happens next for Doudrop? Does Doudrop possibly go up against Charlotte Flair? Am I wrong about Shayna? Maybe it'll be Doudrop versus Charlotte? Maybe it'll be Shayna versus Doudrop next, and it won't even be any of those against Charlotte. Maybe Asuka will come back. Where's Asuka? Where's Sasha Banks? Where have they been? Two of the top stars in the WWE are missing, and I feel like not enough people are wondering where they are. Do you just wonder when the male stars are missing from the show? Like, I don't understand. I am really wondering where Sasha Banks is. Where's Sasha? Is she okay? Where's Asuka? Is she okay? Oh, no, she's hurt, right? Asuka's hurt. Asuka had an injury. But where's Sasha? I know where Asuka is. She's injured, actually. But maybe she'll be back soon. I don't know. I just remembered Asuka's hurt. I saw a picture of her in like an arm thing. I think Asuka's hurt. But Sasha still missing. It's never been explained why she hasn't been around since SummerSlam. Where'd she go? Doug Hepburn drops a super chat. He says, 0-316, I just broke your neck. Those shirts were available for like 24 hours before WWE realized maybe we shouldn't sell shirts glorifying one of our talents accidentally breaking another man's neck. Maybe not. Maybe not. Stone Cold Steve Austin got his neck broke by Owen Hart. Accidents happen, man. Accidents happen. Umberto Carrillo and Angel Garza are a tag team, which I like, because those two guys, very talented, good wrestlers. They fit well together. I don't know why they haven't been used, and now just as a tag team on Raw, it makes sense. Raw needs more tag teams. You need to deepen that roster. So having Umberto and Angel Garza team up tonight I thought was fantastic. They're cousins, too. It just makes so much sense. They beat Mansoor and Mustafa Ali, and people are wondering, like, are they baby faces or heels? Umberto and Hector Garza. Angel Garza. He's Hector's nephew, I think. Great wrestler, Hector Garza. I don't know if they're baby faces or heels. I can't quite tell. They cut a pre-match promo. It seemed like heel-ish, but not that hard, you know? And Mansoor and Mustafa, I can't tell if they're a babyface or heel tag team either. Because Mansoor seems like the babyface, but Mustafa is like the heel guy who doesn't want to go along. It seems like he's going along a little bit more now with Mansoor, like he's kind of down with the program, so I guess they're babyfaces. But I'm not sure that Mustafa has fully turned from heel to babyface. So I'm not willing to accept him as a full-on babyface yet, because it's just not clear. And then Umberto and Angel Garza. Umberto was like a babyface for so long, and Garza was a heel. I don't know what they are. I don't know. It doesn't matter yet. It doesn't really matter. They're a team. They beat Mansoor and Mustafa, which like is another young team that they're trying to get over, you would think. But of course, they sacrifice themselves all the time. One step forward, two steps back. You know, one step forward, you have Umberto and Angel Garza. They're a new tag team, and they won their first match on Raw. Two steps back, this tag team that has won a series of matches on Raw, they're trying to build up. Well, they just lost to this new tag team that means nothing. You're not even sure if they're baby faces or heels. Right? Like, you try to do something with Mustafa and Mansoor, and then it's kind of like, well, we want to debut Garza and Umberto tonight as a team. Okay, well, we need to have them win. Okay, who are they going to wrestle? I don't know. We have no tag team division. Viking Raiders? We can't have them beat Viking Raiders. How about Mustafa and Mansoor? Well, aren't we pushing them a little bit? Yeah, but, like, fuck it. You know? Come on. And that's probably the conversation, roughly. Anyways, I like Umberto and Angel Garza as a tag team. But, again, Mansoor and Mustafa, I thought maybe something there with them, but I guess not. Guess not. Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley cut a promo on the stage. They start talking about Connor's cure and pediatric cancer. And Rhea looks like flustered and emotional, and she looks like she's forgetting her lines. It looked at first like, no disrespect, but it looked at first like Rhea Ripley was just like forgetting her lines, and then to make up for it, to like kind of hide the fact that she was forgetting her lines, like she acted really emotional about the sick kids. Maybe she was, and I totally believe that she could have been. She wasn't crying. She just kind of looked a little flustered. It was odd display of emotion because it came kind of out of nowhere, and she was losing her lines at the same time, but it could be that she was just getting emotional and she couldn't do her lines. But Nikki, you could hear Nikki tell Rhea what she was supposed to say. Like, Nikki was just like she was whispering the lines to Rhea as if Rhea had forgotten the lines that she was supposed to say out there on the stage. It was a bit odd. A bit odd. The presentation of that promo, they're talking about Connor's Cure, which is their cancer charity for kids, the kids' cancer charity. And then, Rhea's getting all confused with her lines, and eventually they get to the point, which is tonight they are dedicating their tag team title shot to all the people and all the kids affected by pediatric cancer. And then they get everybody to raise their arms in a V for victory, and at the count of 3, they chant victory, I think they're supposed to say victory. It was weird, but as soon as, they say, we are dedicating this title opportunity against Natty and Tamina to all kids with cancer, you say, okay, well, they have to win now, right? And they did. Thankfully, they won. I was worried that they were going to dedicate a match to all the children who have dealt with cancer and then lose that match, which would be very WWE, just to get heat on Natty and Tamina. I could see them doing that, but they didn't do that, which is good. It's good that they did that. Rhea and Nikki, they dedicated their match to the kids, and they won their match, so they are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. I call them the WWE Tag Team Champions because the WWE wants to call them the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. But why do they have to add the women's? Because you have Raw Tag Team Champions for men, you have SmackDown Tag Team Champions for men, and they're just called the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and the Raw Tag Team Champions. But you don't have overall WWE Tag Team Champions. That label does not exist. So why not put it on this? So I call them the Tag Team Champions because they're the only, why do you have to say women's? How come, sports, it's you don't say men's whatever, you just say basketball. But then for women's basketball, in basketball, good example, National Basketball Association, NBA. The women's league, WNBA. They just have to throw women on there. How come you have to differentiate by throwing the women thing? I'm telling you, one day it's not going to be a thing anymore. We're going to be like, why are we doing this? Why don't we say, or we're going to add the men's, MNBA, men's national basketball, women's national basketball. Otherwise, it's not the same. I'm telling you, I'm right about this. I'm goddamn right about this. Doesn't make sense. Anyways, the match was not that special. Rhea and Nikki beat Natty and Tamina. The match was pretty short. Nikki rolled up Natty. 1, 2, 3. They win. New tag team champions, though. Rhea and Nikki. They went with them. Looked like they were gonna maybe go with Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart, but not yet. Not yet. Rhea and Nikki. Something for Rhea. Something for Nikki. Former Raw Women's Champion. Or just Raw Champion. See, you could just call them the Raw Champion, right? Why does it have to be Raw Women's Champion? There's no Raw Men's Champion. There's a WWE Champion, a Universal Champion. Why does it have to be Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Women's Champion? Why can't it just be SmackDown Champion? She is the champion of SmackDown. Roman isn't the champion of SmackDown. He's the champion of the universe. You can't even give women their own show championship. Roman gets to be champion of the universe. Women are women's champion of this TV show that's on Fox. Women's champion of this show that's on USA Network. It's called Raw. The other guys are... Big E is the WWE champion. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Especially when the women are usually some of the best parts of the show, if not the best part of the show. The Alexa Bliss playground was surprisingly one of the better parts of this show. It was very good. Charlotte and Alexa cut a hell of a promo on each other. Charlotte comes out for the playground segment there in the ring. She says, what is this new Alexa Bliss? Alexa used to be a competitor. Now she's all this hocus pocus stuff. And then Alexa's like, oh, Charlotte, you're the fun police. I'm just trying to have some fun. And here's Charlie the doll that I made for you. It's like Alexa has her doll Lily, and then she made a doll for Charlotte called Charlie. And Charlotte keeps saying, like, I want the old Alexa back, the competitor. What happened to you? You used to be a champion, and now you're this, ridiculous version of yourself. It was really good stuff from Charlotte Flair. She says that Alexa is just mentally broken now, and she hides behind the playground. Charlotte asks Alexa how it feels to have a doll more popular than her. And she says that the only reason that Alexa was ever champion in the past was because, when Alexa was on SmackDown, Charlotte was on Raw. And when Alexa was champion on Raw, Charlotte was on SmackDown. But now they're on the same show, and Alexa cannot be champion, and Alexa will not be champion this Sunday at Extreme Rules. Alexa says Charlotte is nothing without a title. She says, you're nothing if you can't talk about the championship, if you can't be the champion, if you're just on your own Charlotte Flair without a championship match, without being in the championship story, basically, you don't really have much going for you, which, there is some truth to that. Charlotte is like the best when she's competing for the championship, when she's the champion, when she can come out looking like a champion, when she's like in another story that doesn't revolve around the title, it isn't as interesting with Charlotte. I thought Alexa made some good points in her promo. Like, Charlotte was really good, but then Alexa came back, and I was like, that was pretty good, Alexa Bliss. Like, she kind of stayed in her character, but she also kind of veered out, and I felt like it was the real Alexa Bliss or whatever her name is talking. Lexi something. Right? I thought there was some good stuff there from both Charlotte and Alexa. I thought they both delivered in that promo. The crowd wooed at one point, and she's like, and Alexa goes, that's not even yours, Charlotte. And then Charlotte goes, it was just very quick. Like, they was off the cuff. I felt like it was not really a written promo. Maybe they were given bullet points and allowed to go out there and talk, which is refreshing. It really felt like a real old school style promo tonight from Alexa and Charlotte. It was by far the best promo on the show. By far. Didn't feel rehearsed. So the crowd woos. Alexa goes, that's not even yours. You're not even original. And then Charlotte goes, let's not talk about originality here, Alexa. And she looks at Alexa, and it's like, oh, yeah. I'm doing Bray Wyatt's gimmick. I forgot. And Alexa kind of gave her a look like, oh, yeah. Yeah, all right. You got me there. It was good shit right there. Charlotte just said, all right, come on, Alexa. Let's not talk about it. And she's like, all right. Yeah. That was good. That wasn't written. That just happened because the crowd did something. Alexa reacted to the crowd, said a good line to Charlotte, and then Charlotte, quick on her feet, fired right back at Alexa. Like, that is top-level promo right there. That's fucking excellent. I was really impressed with them, especially in that moment. Alexa says she doesn't need to grasp at titles to stay relevant, but at Extreme Rules, she will win the championship. I was like, so you don't care about the belt, but you're going for the belt? Like, all right, fine. Alexa goes to attack Charlotte, but gets dropped with a big boot from the Queen, and then Charlotte rips the head off the Charlie doll, and then Charlotte goes for the Lily doll, Alexa's doll, but Alexa stops her, hits her with a DDT, and then Charlotte rolls out of the ring. Hell of a segment. Probably the segment of the night. We had a lot of good matches, but goddamn. We see a lot of good wrestling in the WWE. We don't see promos like this very often. This Alexa Bliss Charlotte promo was one of the best things you'll see on Raw in a very long time. One of the reasons why Raw was so good was because of this promo. Big respect to Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. They killed it tonight. Killed it. This was by far the best Alexa Bliss promo in this character that she's ever done. By far. And a lot of these Alexa Bliss, playground things they're the worst part of Raw. But you inject Charlotte Flair, you have a title match coming up, you let them really talk and get real, and it gets pretty interesting. Live mic, live crowd, talk to each other, and see where it goes. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. We went from that to Drake Maverick, Drew Gulak, Akira Tozawa, and R-Truth plotting to take out Reginald and take the 24/7 title from him. They have a giant net. Reginald appears. Gulak tries to lure him in the net, accidentally lures himself in the net, gets trapped in the net, and then Reginald does a couple flips and escapes. Great. Doug Hepburn says, I'm with you, Dave. We've recognized differences in many respects. We've talked about the issues enough. Let's turn the page and act. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly, Doug. You understand what I'm saying. Why do we have to just put women in their own category? Why do we have to just have a subsection for women's sports? There's MMA and women's MMA. There's basketball and women's basketball. Why isn't it men's basketball? Like, sometimes it's, that differentiation is there for the men. You might say men's whatever, but it's pretty rare, right? Usually it's like the sport and then the women's version of the sport. I don't know why that is. That should probably stop. Doug says they got to put the 24/7 champ in the video game. Reggie in the video game. Yeah, I think they probably will, the WWE. Are they doing a new video game? Those games are terrible. The WWE games have been so bad lately, I just can't anymore with those games. Is that everything that happened on Raw? I'm pretty sure I got through everything that happened on Raw here, guys. I think I'm done. I'm done. Extreme Rules is this Sunday. Now, usually we would preview Extreme Rules on Friday night, but Johnny and I are very busy. Johnny will be wrestling Friday night. Like, I didn't want to say it around Johnny. I didn't want to break kayfabe around him, but he's wrestling. He will be wearing a mask, but he's wrestling Friday night for main event wrestling. I'm not going to reveal what his name is on this show, but if you go to the show and you see a giant jacked guy in a mask, it's probably Johnny. So Johnny's wrestling at a show in Montreal. It's main event wrestling. And the website is, I'm going to give you the website, mewwrestling.com. You can get all the info there for the show. You can get tickets. And I will also be appearing on the show. I will be making like a brief appearance on this show in a very small way. I'm not doing too much on this show, but I'll be part of the show in a small capacity. Not like Johnny North, who's actually going to be wrestling on the show, but I will be involved in the show. So I'm booked on this show. I'm booked on the wrestling show, which is pretty cool. It's always fun to do that. I like being involved in pro wrestling as well. So I'll be at the MEW show on Friday night, and Johnny North will be at the MEW show wrestling on Friday night in Montreal. It's at the MTELUS. You could buy tickets now. You go to mewwrestling.com. Santino will be there. Correct. Angelo knows. Santino's going to be there. Trey Miguel is going to wrestle Rich Swann on this card. Like, the card is fantastic. Let me get the card here for you guys. It is a tremendous card. mewwrestling.com. They're bringing in Santino, and I think I'm actually going to be involved in the Santino segment. That's where I'm going to be involved. during the Santino segment. Santino versus Michael the Mind Patterson in a presidential debate. And I will be involved in that segment right there. So there's the poster for the show, okay? There's the poster. There's Santino and Michael the Mind in the presidential debate. There you got Trey Miguel versus Rich Swann, two of Impact Wrestling's finest right there. Rich Swann, former Impact Wrestling champion, top wrestler, great guy. Excellent stuff there. Trey Miguel, great wrestler. Both of these guys wrestling in Impact, current members of the roster. And then it'll be Sexy Eddie versus Madman Fulton. Fulton also an Impact Wrestling guy. So that'll be cool. Sexy Eddie, of course, a legend. A tremendous wrestler. And very sexy with 3 X's. But I don't think he'll be 2 XXX because Johnny told me it's a all-ages show. Then you've got Stone Rockwell versus Cecil Nix. I don't know either of these guys, so I don't know. I look forward to seeing who they are. Like, that's fun for me, too. I get to go to these shows, and I get to see brand new wrestlers that I've never, ever seen before. I've seen a lot of these guys before. I've seen Eddie many times. I've seen Madman Fulton on TV, Trey Miguel, Rich Swann. Of course, I've seen Santino and Mike Patterson. I've seen these guys. Stone Rockwell and Cecil Nix, I don't know these guys, so I look forward to seeing them. Aiden Prince, I have seen. Aiden Prince, very good wrestler. I think he's Impact Wrestling as well, and he will be wrestling Giancarlo and a man by the name of El Contador, and they will have El Chato in their corner, but I don't know if we could zoom in on this guy, El Contador. I don't know if you recognize some of this hair behind the mask and maybe the giant arms here, guys. I don't know if you recognize this guy, maybe. But maybe this guy could be one of our guys. Maybe this guy is Johnny North. I'm just saying this guy is probably Johnny North, okay? Look at him. You see his hair sticking out of this mask? See how big he is? It's Johnny, okay? It's Johnny. I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm. I don't know 100%, but I feel pretty certain in saying that Johnny told me he's going to wrestle on this show. And, I don't see Johnny North's name, but I do see this guy, and he looks a lot like Johnny. So I'm thinking it's Johnny, but we'll see on Friday night. So if you want to see Johnny, which you do want to see Johnny, believe me, check him out here. Then you've got El Reverso, who I don't know. He'll take on Brad Alexis, who I do know. Brad Alexis is fantastic. I look forward to seeing him again. Then we'll have Crystal Moon versus Malak. Malak making her pro wrestling debut here, I believe, with guest referee Casey Spinelli. So good stuff here. You can get your tickets, as they say right there, Ticketmaster.ca. It's a show this Friday night, MEW Wrestling, and that's why I will not be here after SmackDown on Friday night like we usually are, because I will be at this show watching Johnny, or maybe not Johnny, some guy that looks like Johnny wrestle. And I will also be involved in some form or fashion in the show itself, which is fun. So I'll be at this wrestling show on Friday night, but Johnny and I will be back here on Wednesday night, right after Dynamite. Wednesday night, Kenny Omega is going to wrestle Bryan Danielson in New York City in a baseball stadium or a tennis stadium. I don't know what it is. Arthur Ashe Stadium? What is that? I guess it's tennis, right? He's a tennis guy. I don't know. It's some sort of stadium in New York. Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega on Dynamite. It is Grand Slam. Grand Slam to me, it could be baseball or it could be tennis. I don't know. Maybe golf, too? Does golf have a Grand Slam? I don't know. Baseball, to me, is Grand Slam. You get 3 runners on. You hit a dinger. That's a Grand Slam, baby. But there's a Grand Slam of tennis, so I don't know. Nevertheless, what is Arthur Ashe Stadium? Now I need to know. Tennis. Yeah, it's a tennis stadium. That makes sense.
Super chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Doug Hepburn says, El Contador. El Contador. Thank you, Doug. I'm a big fan of El Contador. I don't know the guy personally. I think he only speaks Espanol, and mi Espanol es más o menos. It's not muy bueno. So I don't know, but he's pretty awesome. So it is in a tennis stadium Wednesday night, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. Britt Baker's going to wrestle Ruby Soho for the women's championship there in AEW too. See, it makes sense to have a women's world champion and a men's world champion in AEW. That makes sense. There's one champion. Like, that's fine. But even then, like, how come it's AEW women's champion and then AEW world champion? The man is champion of the world. The women is just champion of the women. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't seem fair. Doesn't seem fair to me. Should be AEW men's world champion. Like, if they're going to be announced as the AEW women's world champion, shouldn't the man be announced as the AEW men's world champion? Isn't that fair? Am I going on too much about this? So that's happening Wednesday night. Johnny and I will be back after that show, Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right here after Dynamite. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great episode of Dynamite coming up on Wednesday. And then Freddie, AJ, and I will be back. Ringside Report MMA back this Thursday night. We will preview UFC 266. Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler, Alexander Volkanovski, Brian Ortega is the main event. Valentina Shevchenko defending her championship as well. Tremendous card. Shevchenko Murphy, Volkanovski Ortega, and the return of Nick Diaz taking on Robbie Lawler. They last fought 17 years ago. They are fighting again. Nick hasn't fought in like 5-6 years. It's been so, maybe more at this point. When's the last time Nick Diaz had a fight? 7 years ago? Was it 2015 or 2016? Nick, 15. Holy shit. What year is it now? 2021? That's 6 years. It's over 6 years because it was January 2015. This guy hasn't fought in like 6 years. And he's coming back to fight on Saturday night. And we're going to preview it Thursday night here on Ringside Report MMA, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will be watching it with you Saturday night. UFC 266, the pay-per-view, a live watch-along right here on the Ringside Report Network. We're going to have special guests. We may have some in-studio guests as well. Saturday night. What am I saying? Saturday night here on the Ringside Report Network, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the UFC 266 watch-along. And then Sunday night after Extreme Rules, I will be back here with my brother, I think, and probably with Johnny too, after Extreme Rules on Sunday night. We'll definitely be here after Extreme Rules Sunday night to recap all the action. So a very busy week here on the Ringside Report Network. We're off Tuesday, back Wednesday after Dynamite. On Thursday, we are back again with Ringside Report MMA, the UFC 266 preview show. On Friday night, we are taking a night off, but Johnny and I will be in the ring in action. On Saturday night, we're watching UFC 266 with you. And then on Sunday night, we are recapping Extreme Rules with you. And then next Monday, I am back here with you for Raw to do it all over again. Angelo Contagonis, you are the Super Chat leader once again. Thank you, my friend. Doug Hepburn, dropping Super Chats. Brian Firth, dropping Super Chats. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the members as well. Do not forget to join, become a member of the team. Support the Ringside Report Network. Saw Franco 316, Angelo, Brian, Doug. Good to see you guys here. Brian, I hope we made your day a little bit better. Shout out to Harold Schneider as well. See you. Shout out to Brian. Hope Brian's doing all right. Brian's our boy. We want Brian doing all right. We want the whole Ringside Report Network doing better than ever. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting. And I will be back here Wednesday night with Johnny North after Dynamite. Like this video. Like the video right now. Have you liked the video yet? Why haven't you liked the video? Could you like the video already? What's the problem here? Why aren't you liking? Have you subscribed? I know you've subscribed, but there's a chance that you may have not subscribed yet. So I would suggest that you subscribe to the channel. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for hanging with me. I did it. Without my brother, without Johnny, solo. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, guys. See you Wednesday.